Hello, everyone. My name is Cindy Nisley, and welcome to another episode of Keep What's Yours, a video series designed to help you avoid having your assets turned over to a state as unclaimed property. Today, I'm joined by Brian Permenter. We're going to discuss some common misconceptions that can lead people to believe that their financial property is not subject to escheatment, when in fact, their assets could be at risk of being turned over to a state as unclaimed property. Welcome, Brian.
Great to be here, Cindy. Thank you.
So, Brian, let's say I have my physical stock certificate. Is it true that nothing can happen to my shares as long as I have that certificate?
No, Cindy, this is actually a misconception. Shares can be turned over to the state as unclaimed property even if you still have the certificate. You can't always assume that just because you're holding the certificate that your shares are not subject to escheatment.
Okay, well, what about this? I've lived in the same house for the past 20 years. So
Mhm.
there's no way my financial institution can say that they can't find me. How about that? Is that true?
Well, it doesn't always matter how long you've lived at the same address. Some state requirements are based entirely on activity or contact. So, if you have shares of stock, a bank account, or a CD, those assets could be considered abandoned if there's not been any activity or contact on the account. The issue is less about how long you've lived in your house, and it's more about making sure your accounts are active.
Well, what if I'm receiving a quarterly statement at my current address? I don't have anything to worry about then, do I?
Sorry, Cindy, that's another misconception. Requirements vary from state to state, but if owner generated contact is required to keep your account active, then your assets could be reported to the state as unclaimed property, even if you're still receiving your statements.
You know, Brian, years ago, many people were told that when it comes to stock, just set it and forget it. Does that still make sense?
Well, that may have worked in the past. If you set it and forget it, you're increasing the likelihood that your stock could be turned over to a state as unclaimed property. You can certainly hold stock over a long period of time, but it's best to make sure there's periodic contact on your account. In fact, we have a video that talks about how to do that for stock accounts as well as bank accounts. We hope you'll check out both videos for specific actions that you can take. Remember, it's not enough for you to know about your property. The financial institution needs to have evidence that you haven't forgotten about it.
Brian, thanks so much for sharing that helpful information with our viewers.
Thanks for having me.
And for everyone watching, if you find these videos helpful, please share them with your friends and family. We want you to keep what's yours.